Hello and welcome to the Wisdom Workshop. Today we'll be discussing the life of Nikola Tesla and how affluent he became as an engineer and a scientist. Please like the video and subscribe with all notifications turned on and enjoy the video. On January 7, 1943, a maid at the New Yorker Hotel entered room 3327, where one of the hotel's permanent inhabitants was residing. Inside, she discovered the body of an 86-year-old man who had died by himself in the room he had been residing in for the last 9 years. The man was poor and had been trying to live on milk and biscuits, utilizing the few resources he had left to feed and care for the neighboring pigeons. Nikola Tesla was the name of this individual. It would have been difficult to believe Tesla was one of the greatest brains of the modern age if he had been seen in his final years. His brilliance influenced the world we know today, inventing the alternating current electrical system that powers our houses all over the world. His impacts may be found in anything from remote controls and radios to mobile communications. Perhaps most notably, Tesla's labor and innovation sprung from his love of science, with his revenues invested in initiatives targeted at the improvement of mankind rather than selfishness and wealth. Tesla was born in modern-day Croatia on July 10, 1856. His mother came from an inventive family and had a fantastic memory, having memorized the totality of Serbian epic poetry. Thus, she trained her son with mental exercises and repetition. Tesla was renowned to have an eidetic memory and subsequently spoke 8 different languages, which he attributed to his mother's endeavors in his childhood. Tesla was 5 years old when his older brother died in a horseback riding accident which he would remember for the rest of his life. Following this, Tesla began to see flashes of light and pictures, making it difficult to distinguish actuality from his fantasies. He said that his innovations would occur to him in bursts of light, with him envisioning the complete design in his brain and fixing the faults without ever writing them down. In a 1919 interview, he detailed the technique, saying, "I don't rush into actual work. When I get an idea, I start at once building it up in my imagination. I change the construction, make improvements, and operate the device in my mind. It is absolutely immaterial to me whether I run my turbine in thought or test it in my shop. Invariably, my device works as I conceived that it should, and the experiment comes out exactly as I planned it." In 20 years, there has not been a single exception. Tesla thrived in school but dropped out of university owing to a gambling addiction and other personal concerns. In 1882, Tesla, inspired by his physics professor's electrical demonstrations, went to work for the Continental Edison Company's Paris branch, installing indoor lighting throughout the city. Management quickly realized that his abilities were being squandered on such a project and assigned him with building and developing powerhouses and engines. He was so innovative that the firm soon had him traveling over Europe, troubleshooting other Edison installations. Tesla's boss offered him a job at Edison Machine Works in New York City in 1884 when he was 28 years old, and he accepted. He quickly relocated to America, where he would spend the greater portion of his life becoming a naturalized citizen 7 years later in 1891. He soon met firm owner Thomas Edison, and the two struck up a friendship, with Tesla praising Edison as an extraordinary person and Edison telling Tesla, "I have had many hard-working assistants, but you take the cake." This mutual adoration would not last long though, as a lifetime clash would soon emerge. The major cause of contention between the two was a dispute over the sort of current each guy favored. Edison's business had the patents for direct current, or DC, a method in which electrical charge flows exclusively in one direction. Tesla, on the other hand, was a proponent of alternating current, or AC, a system in which the electric charge alternates direction on a regular basis. These directional changes enable AC current to maintain power over greater distances. It is also feasible to employ transformers to modify the magnitude of alternating current voltage, enabling a current to flow at a high voltage before being decreased to a lower voltage for safe use in houses. Tesla attempted to convey the benefits of alternating current to Edison, but Edison refused to listen since it may damage the prospects for direct current, for which he held all patents. Edison then promised Tesla a $50,000 bonus if he redesigned 24 of his old equipment. When the assignment was completed, Edison refused to pay and confessed that it had been a practical joke, adding, "Tesla, you don't understand our American humor." Tesla left the firm after 6 months and struck off on his own. He wanted to make a difference in the world and knew he could. He spent the following year establishing his own firm and refining his alternating current concept. However, his investors were uninterested and opted to buy the firm, including all of his patents. To survive, he was forced to dig trenches on the street. Tesla's circumstances would soon improve though, when his ideas for an alternating current motor caught the attention of a new investor, who helped form the Tesla Electric Company in 1887. He then created a motor that was considerably less expensive and simpler to maintain than direct current motors. The next year, he demonstrated his motor before the American Institute of Electrical Engineers, which piqued the interest of a businessman called George Westinghouse. Westinghouse was a prominent participant in the electric industry and required Tesla's motor to complete his alternating current system, which would contend with Thomas Edison's system. Westinghouse purchased the motor and employed Tesla as a consultant for the equivalent of $55,000 per month, plus royalties for each horsepower produced by his engine. Things were looking up for Tesla. As a result, the War of the Currents started. Edison began going to great pains to disparage Tesla's alternating current method. He even began paying kids 25 cents to bring him domesticated pets to a public platform where he would electrocute the animals in an attempt to demonstrate to the masses that Tesla's AC system was unsafe. Electrocutions became more common throughout time, with a horse finally being executed in public. Then, Tesla's most daring concept emerged around the turn of the 20th century. He wanted to build a global wireless system that could send electricity anywhere in the world. Tesla acquired funds for this endeavor in 1901 and quickly purchased land on Long Island, New York, on which to build his contraption. Within the following year, a massive timber structure 187 feet tall with a metal dome 68 feet in diameter was built. He dubbed the structure Wardenclyffe Tower and predicted that it would drastically expand wireless technology with communication gadgets that would not be seen for another century. A quote by Tesla is as follows: "A telephone subscriber here may call up and talk to any other subscriber on the globe. An inexpensive receiver, not bigger than a watch, will enable him to listen anywhere, on land or at sea, to speech delivered or music played in some other place, however distant. In the same manner, any picture, character, drawing, or print can be transferred from one to another place. Millions of such instruments can be operated from but one plant of this kind." Other users for the tower included global and precise timekeeping, worldwide music dissemination, and a maritime system that allowed ships to know their exact location and maneuver correctly without the use of a compass. Despite his brilliant ideas, Tesla had several difficulties. The media began to suspect Wardenclyffe Tower was a ruse after Marconi's 1901 radio transmission diverted attention away from it. Tesla's investors quickly discovered that there was no way to regulate and hence profit from the electricity produced by the structure. This caused many investors to withdraw, leaving Tesla, who was now in his 50s, in financial devastation. Tesla toiled for nearly a decade in vain to accomplish his objectives. He eventually suffered a mental breakdown, and his debt grew so large that he lost Wardenclyffe to foreclosure in 1915. The site was shortly sold to another owner, who demolished the tower to make way for new development. Tesla was now penniless, and his mental state was deteriorating rapidly. He began residing in a series of budget hotels and began tending for pigeons, feeding and caring for them every day. He found himself in the New Yorker Hotel in his late 70s, where he would spend the remainder of his life. This was primarily due to Westinghouse Electric and Manufacturing Company, who witnessed his desperate circumstances and chose to pay his rent as a way of thanking him for helping them all those years ago. Tesla lived until the age of 86, dying in his hotel room on January 7, 1943. Nikola Tesla was a forerunner in his field. His electrical advances were revolutionary, ushering in the modern era, with his impact seen in everything from X-rays to remote control. His world wireless system has the ability to propel technology forward by nearly a century, while also delivering free electricity to the entire planet. Unlike many of his contemporaries, Tesla worked to benefit mankind rather than for personal profit. Perhaps it is unsurprising that a man who was so far ahead of his time has just found his place in the 21st century, an age molded by his scientific genius. Thank you so much for watching this video. If this video inspired you to be more respectful to our engineers and scientists, please do like this video and subscribe with all notifications turned on, so that you won't ever miss another educational video like this from us.